Hey, let me find out. Hey, I'm Mecca. I'm glad you're back. Peace, the people's lender. Peace, peace, Roderick. So glad to be here. People's lender, I need you to stay on here. Can you do me a favor? I need you to come live with me. So get prepared to come live with me because tonight I want to talk about how to get prepared to buy a house. Like so many people this year missed out on the chance to get into a house or all these great low rates and programs that were out here. So if you can, the people's lender, can you come live with me? Peace, y'all, because I would love to get some insight and you share how, as a lender, people should get prepared for 2022. Will you do that with me? And peace, y'all. And I'm on YouTube too. So shout out to everybody who has been coming on my live with me for the last couple of days. Oh, I'm here. Okay. Thank you guys for all of your encouragement. I am doing something called Sis Show Up and Shine. I am on a 30-day journey, you guys, to come giving you content, something consistently to look forward to that can brighten your day with some knowledge, with some insight. Thank you to People's Lender. I appreciate you. So I'm going to give you a few minutes. I'm going to honor that. And I appreciate you for taking the time to bless us and come on here and talk with me tonight. Because that's how we rolling, right? Whenever we get the chance to share a little bit about ourselves, share our knowledge and our insight, that's what we got to be out here doing. So I wanted to challenge myself to stop shrinking and start shining. And I have been inspired by so very many people this year who are out here getting to it that I decided that I have to get out here and do it too. I've been doing a lot of podcasts. I've been super blessed to have been sharing my story. I was even featured on the cover of Rolling Out magazine with my 19 friends and family who purchased the 96 acres of land. So all these good things have been happening, but happening to me and for me this year. But now I want to be a lot more intentional and strategic, coming here to give you some tips. And so tonight, what I would love to share with you, again, I'm Ashley Scott. I'm a licensed realtor with Keller Williams, Atlanta Metro East. I'm based right here in Stonecrest, Georgia, in Atlanta, east of Atlanta. And I wanted to talk about how to prepare to buy a house. Like if 2022 is going to be your year to finally be a homeowner, I want you to have the insight and information you need to get prepared. It's been a lot of competition. It's been a lot of home buyers in the market this year in 2021 competing for houses. So I want to get your mind right for those of you who are out here, you're searching, you're looking, you're ready to get into a position in the future where you can buy a property. I want to help you. And so the very first thing I want to kind of start with is the fact that you got to start with the end in mind. It's one of my favorite sayings that is a highly effective habit or a habit of highly effective people, starting with the end in mind. And so if you're going to be on the search for a home, you've got to think to yourself, okay, what are some of the features that are important to me? Where do I need to be looking for a home? What about my commute to my job? What about the school districts? All of those thoughts for where it is you want to live is going to help you become prepared, because different neighborhoods have different price points, right? Certain neighborhoods just are going to have a higher cost of living. They are higher price points, higher points of entry to get into that particular market. And so if you know this, you can prepare yourself for this accordingly. You need to think about things like your debt to income ratio. You have to think about things like your income. How much money are you bringing in? You'll even have to think, if you want to use a FHA loan, there's certain constraints for how much home you can buy. So if you're in my market like Atlanta, where we have certain areas where homes sell for over $450,000, you might not be able to purchase a FHA home in a neighborhood where price points are starting at that place. So what I want to do is just get you thinking about first, what kind of home and where do I want to go? Because that's going to get you on the path to home ownership, right? So think about that. Okay, if I look at my income, if I look at my personal style, because who you are and the type of home that you want to live in, it matters, right? You have to honor that. And so, what I would say is get mentally prepared to say, okay, you might realize you might not make enough money for the kind of home or the kind of neighborhood you want to live in. And if that's the case, you can be preparing yourself. Maybe it's going to be 2 years worth of preparation, right? That means maybe now I got to start my side hustle, right, y'all? That means I need to start looking at how I can start putting more money into my them tax statements, because some of us like work for ourselves, right? And we don't always report all of our income. So the People's Lender is ready to go live, so I'm gonna bring you on in. And hey, y'all. Let me see. Were you able to join? Hey, yes, there he goes. How you doing today, sir?
I'm good.
Good to have you. Now, I think we social media is so funny that way. Like we connect on like Clubhouse, we connect on stuff like Facebook. Sometimes we connect in real life. Can you remind me how we connected?
You was on my podcast.
Okay. I did a lot of them last year. I was just talking to people.
You're so famous now, you forget about us little people.
I'm not that famous. I just got to be honest. I be moving too fast sometimes.
I got you. And we need to reconnect for sure.
Absolutely. For sure. So tell the people your name, who you are, and what you're going to tell them about getting ready to prepare for getting into a home for 2022.
Cool. So I'm Kevin Jefferson with Summit Funding, better known as the People's Lender. And listen, I have a mission to put a ton of families in houses. Main goal is obviously anybody who's interested, but I'm pretty sure most of the people on here look like us, right?
That's right.
And I'm going to tell you some real stuff, right, that I'm tired of seeing.
Okay, tell them the truth.
So typically, the person in the family with the best credit has all the cars on their credit, right? They got theirs. They got their 28-year-old sons and their brothers, right? So that stops you, unless you make a great income, that stops you or hinders you from purchasing a home, right?
That's good.
It's a way around it, though. If you want to be the person with the best credit and you want to, co-sign, which I think is a bad idea, but let's say you've already co-signed, right? If your son or whoever you co-sign for pays the bill directly to the bank from an account that you're not on, we need a 12-month history, and we no longer have to count that payment against you in your debt-to-income ratio.
Jules!
So that's one way around it, right? The next thing is research. If you go to Ashley and say, I want to buy a house, she's going to send you to a trusted lender, right? Doesn't necessarily have to be a trusted lender.
That's right.
When you come to the lender, obviously, you don't know exactly what to do, so just take our advice.
That's right.
At least listen to us, because I had a conversation with a lady the other day. I probably said 2 words, because she was telling me how the process went. So we got off the phone. I was like, okay, So then she asked me, do I think I can help her? And I called her back, and I said, you want the honest truth? I don't know, because you answered all your questions, and the questions that I asked you, you gave me vague answers. So we're not trying to hinder you. We're trying to be very specific as to your situation. So Ashley's situation is totally different than mine, right? Matter of fact, Ashley's situation with her husband their credit is different and they're married. You see what I'm saying?
That's
right. So everybody is different. So you just have to get a game plan that's set for you. The next thing is this going to be a hard inquiry on my credit? Mm-hmm. I understand. You don't want the hard inquiries on your credit because you hear it does this, this, and that. When a mortgage company pulls credit, it typically drops between 1 and 3 points. We pull it one time. But I see the same people that gave me heck pulling their credit, applied for a car, and got 15 inquiries.
Right.
And the first thing they say is, well, they didn't know. That may be true, right? But now you're looking to buy something that's going to appreciate and change generational wealth.
That's right.
That Kia you have or Lexus you have, it looks nice, but it's not going to change the fabric of your family's culture.
That's right.
And that's where we're messing up. We want to show off driving. You know, I get people who got $800 car payments and want an $800 mortgage. I'm like, you're not going to find it. You're not going to find it. But that's enough. That's just things that I see, and it's a lot of us. And I want to be candid and let people know what we need to do to make those changes. So you touched on something. We're in Metro Atlanta, right? And everybody has a job and a hustle or business, right? That's fine and that's great. We're approaching tax season. You're rounding up your year-end taxes and getting ready. What we need to do is sit down with a tax advisor, not your buddy, unless they know what they're doing, and not yourself, and let them know what your plan is. Hey, Ashley, I intend to purchase a home this year. I don't want to write off everything from my business because then I may not qualify, but I want to try to use my business income to qualify me for extra income. We need to have those conversations. The day of us getting or looking for the $7,000, $8,000 tax check has to stop because they're just borrowing the money and giving it to you next year, right? It's so many things that we can do with that money. I'm not a financial advisor, but I know there's things that you can do with your money to help you with the tax liability.
Absolutely.
Right? So you need to have those conversations with your tax preparer in your business. And another thing, if you don't have a business, but you make a lot of money, don't create a fake one to try to write stuff off. Because if there's any benefits to you, say first-time home buyers programs or down payment assistance that require tax returns, you've kicked yourself in the foot. You've already done, because when they look at it, if they see a loss, that if you lost $12,000 on a business, which means you lost $1,000 a month for the year, they subtract that from your W-2 income. So if you made $5,000 a month from your W-2 income and you lost $1,000 a month through the year on your business, you now have $4,000 in qualifying income versus $5,000.
I think that's something. That's another thing to know. I never even knew that. So you just gave me some knowledge right there with that one. Thank you.
My guy, Sold by Marvin, he's a financial advisor. He said no PP businesses that start December 31st.
That's right.
The other thing is, what we have to understand is we have to start somewhere. Like, you don't have to start out with your mansion. Like, if that's just what you aspire to do, that's great. But maybe just settle for something less than what you really wanted because you can afford it. Because just think about, I'm going to give you a true story. Client purchased a home June 20th of 2020. That's my mother's birthday, 2020, June 20th, right? He decided that he wanted to sell for whatever reason. Don't know. I just know he wanted to sell. 1 year later, he closed August 27th of 2021, he paid $220 for his house. And listen to the 20s. He paid $220 for his house. The house sold at $327.
Wow. Talk about appreciation in this last year.
Now, that's not the norm, but that can happen. I have clients who wanted to wait to see if the market was going to crash. Mm-hmm. They came back and they're like, Kevin, I qualify for more. Rates are a little bit higher, but then the price of the properties that I was looking at last year are $30,000, $40,000 higher. Yep. So I'm still looking at the same type properties, even though I qualify for more.
That's right.
So people always ask, when's the best time to buy?
Now, today, when you qualify.
Because if you look at the market, let's say, I don't think it's going to happen, but let's say you're waiting for the market to crash.
It's not.
And let's say something does happen. Mm-hmm. Who says that you'll have a job then? Who says the interest rates will still be low then? Who says the guidelines won't change to where you can't buy or it's harder to buy? Mm-hmm. So if you're waiting for destruction, it's going to affect everybody. So if you can buy now. Well, I don't want to buy too high and then my house depreciate. That's going to happen at some point, depending on how long you're in the house.
That's right. It's a cycle.
But your rent doesn't go down. Mm-hmm. Like if you're renting and the market crash and you're paying $1,200, that next year the landlord's going up 5%. Mm-hmm. He doesn't care if it's a crash or not.
That's right.
So you should look at it the same way. Real estate is a long game.
That's right. That's right.
Sorry for taking
No, thank you so much. I appreciate you more than you know, because that's what I want. That's those gems. So my whole point is to get up here, come live with experts like you so that folks can know what to prepare themselves for. What do you guys think the president's Build Back Better infrastructure plan could do for the market? Good thing or bad thing? But I feel like it's a good thing off the rap, because ultimately, here's what's going to happen. They're going to flood money to contractors, vendors, people who are going to be out here building infrastructure, which means that now there's money getting flooded into people with jobs, right? And when people have good jobs, what do? They go buy houses. So that's just a good thing all the way around, period.
It is. I mean, some of these roads that need some TLC will get handled, and hopefully it filters in some of those neighborhoods that have a ton of potholes. That can help increase the neighborhood.
Yes,
somebody may not buy in a specific neighborhood because they don't want to tear up their car.
That's a very good point. I live over here in Stonecrest, Georgia, right? And we have one of the wealthiest zip codes. And when we talk about insurance rates, they're high because everybody driving these nice cars around there, right? So that is something to consider. That means the entire community value goes up when our neighborhoods look better, when our roads are better. It just appreciates the entire value of our communities. That's what community development is about. And it comes in layers, and everything helps whenever we're building stuff up and we're pouring into an industry. It trickles down. Even though people think trickle down economics doesn't work, it definitely does have an impact.
So Ashley, that infrastructure bill, and I'm not sure if you know the answer to this question, but I got a question for you. That infrastructure bill, that should help you guys' project, right?
And we're hoping it will. So one of the things that it can do is allow us to get access to some of these bonds and revenue dollars that are available that our county can access. So our county can take and access money and then redistribute it to projects. So luckily enough for us, we've been really creating a relationship with Wilkinson County. So ideally, when they access that money and they look for what projects they want to provide tax incentives and give money to, it can help us tremendously. And then when we look at the vendors again, that will be helping us when we start talking about solar, putting in roads and infrastructure, then our vendors who are working for the government can use some of those dollars to help us on our project as well.
So my 10-year-old has, I guess they're learning in school, and he keeps asking me about wind energy. Are you guys putting in? I know of wind energy. Are you putting any of that into your
wind
house?
energy is something that we've thought about. I'll be honest, it's an eyesore. I don't particularly like how it looks. I just got finished driving through the Midwest where there's tons of these big, they're just huge, right? And so I don't know that we won't necessarily look into it, but it's not on the top of our list at the moment. We're more focused on solar, and it really, because that's where we are as a region, that energy is just free and more powerful. Not to say that we don't make as much wind as the Midwest does, but I don't know if it would create the same type of return on investment. So those are some of the things. We're looking for more innovative things on smaller scale. So I can't get into some of the details, but we're looking at like water power and geothermal energy, as well as like we've got we've got waste management issues, right? And so when you start thinking about, okay, let's look at what happened, how do we turn our waste into energy? And so we're looking at how do we use the problems that we have to actually do dual service, right? So if we can turn our waste or byproducts that we are not utilizing into energy, we want to consider those methods as well. And so our big focus, though, is on the solar and on water power, hydropower.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And so that I'm excited. I thank you so much, because I'm really looking forward to building this community and inspiring other people to build communities too, because we're in the middle of an affordable housing crisis, right? Like there's just not enough inventory. So we've got to start looking at in creative ways to be able to house ourselves, and really looking at the USDA farm bill, looking at rural revitalization, and just any kind of way that we can intelligently and strategically figure out how to build homes for ourselves. Don't you need a lot of land for wind power? You do need a lot of land for wind power. These structures are huge. They're huge.
That's why you see them in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, there's farmers though. Like I was driving through. We were taking I don't even know I'm not even sure what the city, the highway is, but we drove from Atlanta to Milwaukee a few weeks ago in October, and you would see these little farmers in their houses in between each of these big windmills, but they're huge. They take over the entire landscape for miles and miles. I personally think they're an eyesore, but if it makes, wind and it makes sense, I'm all for it, because I'd rather us be doing those types of things than continuing to invest in fossil fuels and things that don't serve us. I see we bought 64 acres. Hello, that's what's up, Mella one. Congratulations. I had my other student, Miss Imeka, right on earlier. She was sharing her testimony about how her and her 7 children followed my method for group economics and my course that I teach, how to buy land using group economics. And they purchased 75 acres of land here in South Georgia.
How much is the course?
My course is $199 and it's going up. Yes. That's why you made that face, right? It's going up. It's funny because I was supposed to raise the price after Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So I haven't had the chance yet because I've been doing contracts all day. We sold our first acres of land, and because we purchased 97. Some of you may or may not know, but we purchased another 404 acres. And so now we've broken those 404 acres down. We've got some 6-acre plots, and we've actually sold 8 of the 11 that we had for sale. So I've been writing contracts all day, which is always a blessing. And I lost track, but that thing is really moving. So I'm going to be increasing the price. I haven't done it yet. So if you go to the link in my Instagram to get my course, you can get it still today for the $199. But it's about to go up. So it's going up to $397. That's going to be the new price point of my course, because you get 12 hours of me dropping gym after gym after gym on top of an ebook. So you get a lot of information. I'm going to probably be updating the ebook now, because let me tell you something about rural land. I tell people all the time, I love rural land. The USDA is doing big things when it comes to helping farmers to fence their land, to put to do soil erosion, to just do the things. If you need to get a water well, if you're living in rural Georgia. And I'm all about rural land because you can get so much of it affordably. You can put animals on it. Flipping cows is a whole business, and you can get 100% investment from the USDA to get your operation going with zero down. Where they do that at?
Is that in the course?
Yes, it is, but not that tight. When I first, 2.0. Yeah, that's gonna be a 2.0. I didn't know how to do it when I started talking about it, but now I done did it a little bit. So now I'm like, the 2.0 about to be extra saucy. Okay. All right. But that's the main thing, is realizing how we can tap in to so many resources. And like, again, we are so used to just living in these urban areas, and some urban areas qualify for USDA loans, believe it or not. If you're out of that metropolitan, really dense area, you just gotta, get on Google. And if there's an area that you're interested in, like Covington, Conyers, they're not that far outside of Atlanta. So you can actually get a USDA loan if you qualify, and get that land, and you can. There are fully functional farms. People don't want the family farm. You know what I mean? Like, why not? You have to really look at that as a major investment that's going to cash flow for you if you're doing it the right way. And we got a lot of help out here. Like, when I think about, our consultant, Mr. Wayne Swanson, Black Farmers, the Federal Cooperation of Southern Farmers, there's a lot of people out here who can help you take a farm, get it fully functioning, and then you're not just creating generational wealth for yourself, you're helping to feed your community. And this is all the stuff in my heart is what we need to be working on.
You're right. I've got to get my boys to bed.
All right.
But I'm going to send you a message in Messenger.
Okay.
And I'm going to grab that course as well before it goes up.
Thank you. And now tell everybody again, who are you? How can they get in touch with you if they're ready to get a pre-approval? Where they need to come see you at?
Got you. Once again, I'm Kevin Jefferson, the People's Lender with Summit Funding. You can reach out to me on here. I answer my own direct messages. Also, you can reach me at 470-485-6267, or you can email me, kevin.jefferson@summitfunding.net.
Thank you, Kevin. We appreciate you so much for coming on with me tonight. So listen, I'm going to let him go and take care of his kids. You have a good one, okay?
You too. Bye-bye.
Peace. Yes. So that was Kevin from Summit Lending. If you are ready to get, and yes, so by Mark, he said, that's my lender. It's always good to have good lenders, good people. Thank you, Mela one. Listen, y'all, I want you to get prepared. He dropped some gems. I don't even have very many more gems to follow up with other than this. If you know your credit is not right, if you don't know what your credit is, to get prepared for 2022, if you want to be a homeowner, start with that. You got to get that credit, understand where you are. You want to be at least a 700. That's not as hard as it sounds, but it's going to get you the best interest rates, right? Now you can get approved with a 640, even as low as a 580 with some lenders if you're a first-time home buyer hoping to use a FHA loan. However, make it easy on yourself. Can make it sure that you're going to get to the closing table, because when you're that low, you're going to end up paying more in interest, and you're going to take the chance of missing out on your house if something small fluctuates or changes because you've made a mistake. So get another thing. If you want to buy a home, you should have been really diligent over the last 12 months to make sure you haven't paid anything late. You can't have any lates, no 30 days, 60-day, 90-day lates, none of that stuff. So get that in your mind as you're preparing in 2022 for purchasing your house. Now, another thing I want to share with you is you're going to need a down payment. Yes, you can use programs like the USDA or the VA zero down programs if you qualify for them and are eligible for them. However, you're always going to need to actually have some cash. You're going to have earnest money. You're going to have appraisal money. You're going to want to have inspection money. You're going to have title money. So just be prepared to have at least $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 for your down payment ready. Save those refund checks. You've been getting those tax credits, those 300, 600. If you got a whole bunch of kids, you might have been getting some real money for the last few months. Use that towards your down payment, you all. This is how we build generational wealth through home ownership. The appreciation of homes nationwide was 14%. If homes are increasing 14%, and you just heard Kevin and me and most of my mentors and anybody who in the real estate game are telling you that the market is probably not going to crash, that means the prices are going to continue to increase. If that's the case, that means you need to get in a house now rather than later. Because like my brother said, when's the best time to buy a house? When you qualify. So this live tonight, this YouTube tonight was really about getting you mentally prepared to go into 2020. If you that is the goal on your vision board, that look, this year I'm buying a house. You need to look at your credit. You can pull all of your credit reports, each one of them. You get one free all year and you probably haven't used it, right? So go ahead, pull those credit reports from Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. See what's on there. And if there are things, those 30-day lates, those 60-day lates, those 90-day lates, they can prevent you from getting to home ownership next year. So knowing that now, that means you will be prepared to work really hard to make sure you don't have that happen next year. There's a lot of things that you can do. Get a financial advisor, get a credit repair specialist, someone who can hold your hand and get you on your way to success. If you need some help, if you need some referrals, if you're looking for someone who can guide you, hit me up, get in those DMs of mine, right? And let me know how I can serve you. I'm getting off of here because I'm actually supposed to be on a whole nother Zoom talking about energy grants from the NAACP, because we are very serious about our solar revolution while we're building Freedom, Georgia. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. You remember hearing me on the podcast now? Hey, Shannon. Yes, I be on all kinds of podcasts. But I appreciate Kevin for having me. I look forward to having you now as one of my followers, Shannon. Stay in touch. I am encouraging realtors. Realtors, listen up. That's you, Marvin. That's you, Shannon. Anybody else that's watching, listen. I want to challenge you to show up and shine. I have already gotten 2 listing appointments, 2 of them. You hear me? One was a referral and one was a past client that I have not kept in touch with all year. But guess what? Because I am showing up and going live, people are reminded that I can give them great service and that my personality is exactly the kind of person that they want to be working with. So I want to challenge you, real estate agent, fellow realtor, to show up and shine with me for the next 30 days. We are going into January. Let's create some new habits together, okay? This social media platform has been changing people's lives. We have been seeing it. We are eyewitnesses all around us. And so now I want to encourage you to do the same thing. Come out, share your story. Don't be in the shadows any longer. It's not that hard. I'm in a sweatshirt. I'm talking to my friends, people who I know and who I hope love and have good thoughts towards me. So why wouldn't I come and give them some good positive information, insight, and inspiration for their real estate journey? So you can do it too. If I'm doing it, you can do it. I don't got no makeup on. I'm here. You can come be here too. Show up for your audience, and I promise it will be amazing for your business. Yes, Sold by Marvin. We need each other. We are not adversaries as realtors. We all want to get to the closing table. Ain't that the truth? I want us all to get like, I'll meet you at the closing table, Marvin. Okay. Listen, real estate agents all over the world, we can refer to one another when we are all lifted up and working in best practices, and we are feeling good about the fact that we're not in competition, but we're in collaboration. That means our entire industry can benefit. That means that people are going to still see value in working with a realtor rather than selling to Zillow or selling to these different discount brokerages. We want people to come and work with their local real estate expert, the people they can reach out and touch. And I want to refer people who are exceptional agents in the localities where they live to be able to help my friends and family when they tell me that they're ready to sell. So we're all in this together. And the best thing you can do is to show up and tell people how they can have a great experience in real estate, how they can use real estate to build generational wealth, how they can be able to be prepared to purchase homes, sell homes. We want to give people lots of value and service. And so if you're like me, I'm all about giving our people the best that I got. And that's what I hope you are about too. So I'm getting out of here. Listen, you have everything you need and you are more than enough. Period. Pooh. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 o'clock. If you don't already follow me, please do. And go ahead and visit me. Do a little Google search, find my YouTube page, show me some love over there. I'm trying to grow my brand this year, and I need your help to do it. Share some comments, share this with a friend. You know what to do. I love y'all. Peace, and have a good night. Oh, yeah, you too. Bye.